I get to do a review on 1 Series BMW. What a fun thing to do. I happen to love 1 Series BMWs. This guy here is my 10th BMW. This 3 Series here is my 11th BMW, and I haven't actually released the videos of buying that guy at auction yet, so I better not show you too much of that one. But I love 1 Series BMWs. Oh my gosh, they are such fun. You know, we've had a 5 Series, we've had X5s, X3s, had the whole range with BMWs. 1 Series, I would say without doubt, is the funnest. It's the little race car, the little rocket ship. This is a 120i. I've had 2 120i's. This one is the LCI. The difference in the LCI is in these running lights down the front here, like your fog lights. They're round. On the previous model, BMW uses the term LCI. It's life cycle impulse, when they refresh and update a model mid-run through. But of course, the front, if you've had an accident, you can update that. Something harder to change inside here. You see that little pocket up on top of the dash? That's another thing that came with the LCI. And the tail lights are different as well. So there's a few little things like that you can pick them. So anyway, on to the 1 Series. Why do I love them? Well, BMW is the driver's car, and this is, like, if you like, the ultimate driver's car. You can get these with bigger engines. 120i is the 4-cylinder. You can get them with a 130 and 135. That's 6-cylinder petrol engines. They are no longer efficient when you do that. They still handle fantastic and have heaps of power. But what I love about this one as a daily driver, it's really, really efficient on the fuel as well. And the 120i, the 4-cylinder, it's a 2-litre BMW 4-cylinder engine, and they actually have a good bit of go in them as well. Very importantly with BMW, and one thing that these guys have, is with the automatic transmission. Most of these will be automatic transmissions, especially the 120i. With the transmission, I've turned it on, pressed it so I can open this up, but you see, when you're down here in drive, it has over here this MS Sport plus minus. You can actually shift this over so that it becomes a manual transmission. When you've got it back here, it's just in drive, normal, but when you push it over, it goes to sport. That's the manual and sport, the MS that's here, and all of a sudden you've got a tip driving forwards and backwards to change the gears as you want, and you can drive it as a manual. It's really quick change and really fantastic. Not only that, when you first flick it over, it goes to sport, and so all of a sudden it just tightens up. It'll change gears at a higher rev, and just more power, more go, more fun when you just flick it over to sport. So if you're driving along and you just want to flick it into a corner or something like that and drive it and not have it change gears midway through, flick it over to sport. It's like the fun button, and then you've also got the manual from there as well. So just a really, really fun little car. There's an area that's close to me where there's a nice windy road to come through, and it just means, it just puts a smile on your face when you're driving this car. As I said, this is my 11th BMW, but when it comes to driving through that little particular patch of road, it would be a 1 Series, just because they're absolutely so fun. I think they look good too. This is the E87 model, just with their, haunch little hips that stick out the back and so forth. Just a really nice little car. That's another thing on the LCI as well. Again, you see the oval exhaust. It's another change that came with the life cycle impulse, the LCI. So yeah, and the solid red tail lights. They had orange in them for the previous model. But there you go. That's a 1 Series. For me, my gosh, to have it reliable, absolutely fantastic. The first 1 Series I had, the blue one, I had that for 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And the only work I ever had to do with it, I had to replace the radiator. They do have some plastic components under the bonnet. These guys are all about being super light motor cars. So you do have to be aware of that. And those lighter components being made of plastic don't last the same as metal. But when you drive one of these and get to see the advantages both in fuel economy and power of a lighter car, it really is worth it. So that was the only thing. Had to switch out the radiator, which I was able to do myself. I'll put a link up here on the video if you want to have a look at that. And this one I've had for a year now. When we bought it at auction, this one's called the black one. I bought this at auction, and I'll put a playlist up here of all the videos associated with that and what I had to do with it. This took a lot of work when I bought it at auction. I had to do the valve stem seals, had to put 4 tyres on it, quite a bit of stuff like that. But she's a ripper car now, Absolutely love it. Love to drive it. And that's the thing. If you're going to have a little commuter car that's going to potter around and you want to enjoy driving it, then really, really seriously consider a 1 Series. You can see this is for sale at the moment. And if it still says for sale up in the description of this video, then you know it's still for sale. But I'm not in a hurry to sell this because it's just an absolutely fantastic car. And yeah, love driving it. So 1 Series BMW, yes, this is my second one. My 11th BMW, no, sorry, my 10th BMW, this guy, and absolutely love them. Under the bonnet, they're nice and simple, nice and straightforward. This is the oil filter cap here. The oil filter's in underneath there. Drain it out underneath, exactly the same as anything else, so you can still do your own oil change. I'll put a link up here to show how to do things like that on a 1 Series BMW. But nice and straightforward. As I said, I had to replace the radiator that actually cracked through this fitting here on my other one. But I do believe that was actually broken when I bought the car because there was a little bit of a weep coming from there. But apart from that, yeah, really, really enjoyed these cars. And yeah, okay, it's a bit complex to get in to change the air cleaner. That's in underneath there. But again, if you buy one of these or you've got one of these, have a look at my channel. I've got lots of how-tos for all these different things so you can look after them yourself and do that sort of work yourself. But I love the 4-cylinder. I did actually have a 6-cylinder of the same era in a 5 Series station wagon. Oh my gosh, what a car. Power, really, really great, but it was a bit more complicated. I had some problems with that engine. Electronically, it wasn't too happy. I think it actually turned out to be the battery, so I don't want to be too hard on it. But I love the 4 cylinders. I've had two 3 Series with the same style of engine as this, and 2 1 Series, all with the same engine, and they've been absolutely fantastic, all of them. I had a very, very good run, just super reliable, and really, really good deal. So there you go. Go for it. If you want to have some fun. Now again, you don't buy a BMW if you're after the cheapest car to have. You buy a BMW when you want to have some fun. You want something that's a bit special, that it's got a bit more go, that'll handle nicely, that are not so crazy expensive. But anyway, the run I've had with these two over 3.5 years with the 2 1 Series, if you're looking at buying one second hand, because if you do take the run flats off it, then you do need to have a spare or some sort of setup for your spare tyre happening. That's on it, then you don't need to. If you don't know what run flats are, I'll put a video up here that talks a bit about run flat tyres, their benefits and their cons and so forth. But there she is, 1 Series BMW. Absolutely love them. Absolutely recommend it. If you're considering buying one, if you've got one, you know they're a great fun little car to drive, and you know that they're really reliable. And yeah, if you're thinking about one, then do it, because I'm sure you won't be disappointed, because they are really, really fun little cars.